name's Tom Neltner. I'm with Unleaded Kids, which is focused on reducing lead from all sources in the environment, whether it's housing, whether it's soil, whether it's the air, whether it's consumer products. Been working on lead for about a quarter century, and I have gotten the privilege of meeting three community-based organizations that are supported by Lead Free New Jersey. And in talking together, we realized that lead poisoning prevention professionals, whether in housing world or health departments, need to work better with community organizations. And they can learn from each of the three of you. And at the state level, they can see how Lead Free New Jersey makes this happen. So our four people are from Lead Free New Jersey is Heather Sorge. She's with Lead Free New Jersey, and then Shaniqua Lemon from it's Patterson Alliance in Patterson, New Jersey. We have Sherelle Snyder from East Trenton Collaborative and Giovanni Contasano from the Puerto Rico Action Community of Southern Jersey. Each program is different. There's no cookie cutter here, and I think this will be a really good example of how to move forward. So when I talk to housing or health departments and others, they often don't know how to find community-based organizations. How do they find groups that can do the kind of work that the three of you do? How can they find state-level organizations that are going to respect the community and engage the community? So where there's not a PRAC of Southern New Jersey, an East Trenton Collaborative, or the Patterson Alliance, or Lead Free New Jersey, what can they do? Is there a way to find the groups, to cultivate them? Anybody have any ideas?
Well, I'll say the first thing is that networking, right? That was mentioned earlier. I think Shaniqua mentioned that, and that's important, right? It's a one way, once look, it's all about relationships, right? It's all about relationships in my view. And of course, so that networking is going to be important. Developing those relationships, maintaining those relationships, and working together to try to for the betterment of the community. But I think that we've come a long way since those days where I mentioned earlier going through a book, right? So their resources are readily available. Whether it's the internet or whether it's, let's say, for example, you call New Jersey 211 or something. That's always, work in progress, but nevertheless, that's always, that sort of thing is always a start. But I think that, again, going back to that networking, those relationships, that's going to be key. And so I think that that is one good way. And I mean, for example, right? Heather mentioned, told a story a few minutes ago about a family who and how they were impacted by lead hazards and being present in the home and what transpired to get them to a place where, man, that was not cool, not a good place to be in. But nevertheless, even if it's not, I heard Heather mention, well, we don't provide technical assistance. Well, guess what, lady, you just did. And you might as well, you save, I wouldn't say save the family, but certainly help that family for sure. Avoid, a total disaster. And again, those relationships made a difference. Being able to identify who can help in this process. So you reach out to this one, that one, this one, and you come up with something that is pretty good, and you put it out there, and now it's up to the family to follow up and follow through. But if not because of the passion, if not because of the empathy, if not because of that commitment, it probably would have never happened. not at least at that moment, and perhaps even in an expedited manner.
We
Um,
try. Sherelle, one thing I want to, I'm sorry, Shingo, the one thing I want to say really quick is something that I've witnessed, seen, and I went to several of these types of events with Sherelle, and I'm using you, Sherelle, as an example because I've known you the longest. We've been in this together quite a few years at this point. But I know a lot of times state departments or organizations, right, have come, and I'm sure that you've experienced this too, Shaniqua, although I haven't been to them with you, where they hold a listening session or a community interest, right, where they say that they want to come and listen to the
Mhm.
community, right, and they come with an agenda and do a lot of talking and not a lot of listening.
Mhm.
Um, and I know from talking to you, Cheryl, maybe you could speak to that. That is something I know that just burns the community up. When people come in and it's under the guise of caring or wanting to change or wanting to help, and they come in with this agenda and it's really checking a box. It's not coming in and trying to be purposeful or to really get a grasp on how to move forward. So I don't know, Cheryl, do you or Shaniqua, I guess, I don't know if that, I think that that is one of the things that could be done better. When you're asking Tom about how do you connect with organizations like Lead Free or the community, I think that that's something that needs to change, in my opinion, and having witnessed what is currently happening. And I'm going to leave that there, but that's because
I'll
I
give,
don't have the answer.
I'll give a quick story. I was at the state of Indiana, the environmental agency, and the story that went around is they had to have a listening session in Gary, Indiana. Because they were all going up as a group, they drove up in a bus that they borrowed from the school for the deaf. So they drove up to the listening session in a school that said, we're the school for the deaf.
Poetic just, I don't know. That's, yeah.
So
I only
sometimes, even if you're trying, you can send out inconsistent messages. But actually listening and then listening so carefully that you can find out who those groups are is what I hear from you, Heather.
Yes, but I'm not the expert on that. I'm speaking, Sherelle's and Shaniqua's truth and pride Giovanni's on that, right? Because that's something I witness as an outsider, to these communities, right? From a different lens. But yes, I think they both could probably speak to that a lot better than I can.
Oh, Shaniqua, you mind? I just want to talk about the East Trenton Collaborative and for our civics committee and our listening sessions that we have. The committee of residents get to put a list together of which organizations or city officials they want to invite to our listening session. And they come up with the questions that they want to ask these officials. And just by the officials showing up, that's like half of the battle because now they get to see the residents get to see them face to face, even though they don't always go on their word to do everything that they say they're going to do. But half of the battle is that connection of relationship has been made, and they've been in the same room together to converse with one another. So our residents, like Heather says, do get used a lot because we have organizations that come in and say, "Oh, Sherelle, I mean, we've had it happen not too long ago. I won't say who, but we want to do something, but it wasn't for the residents' benefits and able to get something done. It was actually for that organization to put a check in one of their boxes as a duty they had to have checked off. So, if you want to know who are the organizations, well, a relationship, I'm thinking with your um, council people, they should know, our mayor, your mayor, if you want to find out who's doing what, Go to the mayor, and then they can help you, point you in the directions of the community-based organizations. Because I'm sure, yeah, there's a lot of them doing certain things. May not do everything that needs to be done, but if you're looking for a CBO, I think it's your municipal office pointing in that direction, or talking to the residents on the ground that may not always have favorable um, thoughts of organizations. So I don't know.
All right.
But yeah. So go ahead, Shanae.
When you,
So I would go.
sure.
So, to that about the listening sessions, a lot of what I'm seeing recently, and Terrell brought it up, was compensation, right, for the listening sessions. So I think that's always a benefit because residents take this survey, give your input, always asking. For me, it's then what are you doing with that information? Are you then sharing,
Exactly.
this is what we heard, this is what we're going to do as a result of what we listened, right? So what is the action steps again from that listening session? And then when it comes to finding the community-based organizations, if it's the health agency, they have clients and participants who live in these communities. So how about you ask them,
Yeah.
do you know of what organizations in your community, or who do you turn to when you need help? So really asking the people that you already know in those neighborhoods, and then maybe spending a day or more out in the community, attend some community events, go again that face to face, just dedicating some time to really be active in the community, and then seeing for yourself is another way to really know who's in the community and who's doing what.
Mhm.
Really good observations. And Sherelle, I honestly say I've been doing it for 25 years and I never actually thought of going to the elected officials because they're always sort of other. I'm always more on the agency side. But to get elected, you have to know what are the influential groups in your community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great suggestion. That's a great one. I never thought of it. So I'd like to learn something new here.
No, most definitely. Because I would say that, and I understand your point, Tom, too, that they might have a favorite ones that they would lean more towards, because I do see that happening. But I do just have to note that the mayor of Patterson Alliance was the first executive director of Patterson Alliance. So
Ah,
Mayor Patterson, right? Yeah, yeah.
all right.
Any final thoughts?
on that question,
Yeah.
oh no, I would say for whether it's the health agency or for them to become involved in the community that they want to serve as well, for them to also
Listening,
do some
yeah,
work and
listening
try to
and
get to
working.
know the community.
Excellent. Okay, we had one last question of do community organizers work closely together? But you answered that question with almost everything you said. So I think we're set. Are there any final comments or thoughts that you want to share?
Get involved. Get involved. It affects us all, whether it be your children, whether it be your neighbor's children, whether it be your grandchildren. Get involved.
And be
That
authentic.
goes for community-based organizations. That goes for community members. That goes for elected officials and some other governmental agencies. Get involved. It's the only way we're going to take care of it.
Be
Yeah.
authentic.
And without getting emotional,
Mm.
just want to just share my gratefulness just for Lead Free New Jersey and the opportunity to meet so many amazing people. Sherelle, Giovanni, Green and Healthy Homes Initiative, Burr and Kari and Isles, Elise and Ben, and just so many, Yvette Gordon, so many passionate people that all help put pieces together. And
Yeah.
when I myself am just like, I'm stuck and I need help with this, just being able to send out an email and have a collaborative come back with so many different options and step-ins, and this is how we can support, really makes a difference. And Giovanni keeps saying it, not one agency can do it, right? This is decades and decades of an issue, and I'm literally just getting started, and like, so what is the problem here? Why aren't we why isn't this solved yet? And again, just finding those passionate partners, right, and clinging on to them, because once you find a good cohesive team that is supportive, you feel like you're unstoppable.
Yes. And I just want to say, It's 2025, y'all. It's time to put lead to bed. Our children are suffering. What we do today affects their tomorrow. Let's put lead to bed. Get it done.
All right.
Yeah.
And I have
Uh,
one other one that I want to capture, and that is one way agencies can help and bring attention to the community-based organizations and work with them is actually giving recognition. Sherelle, you won recognition from the governor for your work on diversity and environmental justice. And while you're very modest and you would never bring it up, you have to recognize that that matters for you. It helps get you going, I think. It just makes a difference. It also helps raise your profile in the community. And Giovanni and Shaniqua, you've also been recognized in your communities for the impacts you've had. And that's important too. So we don't want to miss out on the idea that feedback matters. And that recognition helps, even if you don't want to accept it, Sherelle, and you're too modest to take it, it matters. I appreciate your.
100%.
Are there any final comments?
I would challenge anyone, watching this and thinking about, how they're involved, to really think about how you show up in this work and how you can be more inclusive, how you can be more collaborative, because I think the common theme, as Giovanni said, no one's going to do this alone. Really think about the benefits of collaboration, and think outside the box. So we're always happy at Lead Free New Jersey to share, a little bit about us and what's working and what our lessons have been. Because, like I said, we don't get it right all the time. We're always learning. We're always wanting to try new things and to hear new voices and new perspectives. So I invite anyone listening to come to one of our meetings. It's an open membership. Get to know these wonderful individuals that are community organizers and hear more about their stories and about their success, because we are making a difference here with Lead Free New Jersey and in the state of New Jersey. And I'm really proud of the work that we do and of all of our partners and all of our hub leads. And thank you, Tom, for this opportunity.
I, for one, am honored to be able to learn more from each one of you and come away with more knowledge and more ideas of how to help, drive levels closer to zero, lead out. We want to get rid of lead from the communities.